Hello, everyone. How's everything going? So this is one of our segments with Conexión LARES, and we are doing this so that way we're able to celebrate the seniors, especially those in LARES leaders. And we have some guests here with us today, some of our LARES leaders, and also one of our LARES advisors, and obviously including myself. But we can go ahead and get started. Who's joining us today? Like, state your name and your major, and yeah, like, let us know who you are.
Everybody, I'm Giovanni Garcia and I'm studying economics.
Hi everyone, I'm Marina Teruel and I'm studying psychology.
Hi everyone, I'm Jennifer Hernandez. I'm studying English with a concentration in professional writing and psychology.
Hello everyone, my name is Ileana. I am a graduate student in the College of Social Work and I'm also an advisor with the LATIS program.
Awesome. Thank you everybody for joining today. I'm honestly really excited about this segment. Just more importantly, because you're about to go into finals. So hopefully you all are doing well and you're prepared, but most importantly, excited because it is a really important time for you all, which kind of leads to the first question that I have for you, which is, as a first generation college student, what does graduation mean to you? It could either be maybe Marina, that if you want to do a take on it.
So being first generation college student has been an interesting journey, I would say. Just being that person to guide my younger siblings, show them what college and college applications are going to look like, trying to explain like how things are different from college and high school. It means a lot though, just because I feel like I represent a product of all of my parents' sacrifices and all of my grandparents' sacrifices. Having grandparents moving to Chicago and being immigrants, like, it means a lot knowing that they left their lives that they had in their homes to come to a place that they didn't know anyone, where they had to start all over again. So it's like each generation progressively did better. And I feel like us first college generation students are a testament to that, because we are what they work so hard for.
I love it. I love it. Okay. What about you, Gio?
Technically, I'm not a first generation graduate because my mom is a teacher from Mexico, and she came here and got certified. She's actually retiring this year, but I think graduating for me, it's not even for myself. I think mostly about my parents and my grandparents. And every time that during my time here at UIC, I felt that I should take an L on this exam or just give up. I just always think of them, everything that they've done for me. And now that I'm graduating, I'm happy for myself, but I know that it means more to my parents and my grandparents. So it's just a testament to all their sacrifices, and yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Jennifer?
Well, I'm a little different. Kind of like the opposite of Marina. I was a younger sibling, so I had the privilege of being somewhat guided through the college experience, thanks to my older sister. But kind of similar to Gio as well, my mom actually got her bachelor's in Mexico. But me getting mine here, it meant a lot because basically when she moved over here, like, she didn't even use it. So every time I'm working like hard at school, like, I always remember that like my mom sacrificed, leaving her career and her basically like her whole life behind. And then when my dad, fell in love, had me and my sister. And I just always remember like a parent's sacrifice just means the world. And yeah, ever since I was little, the only thing they would constantly tell me, like, la escuela es su trabajo. So like I grew up like thinking that like consistently. Like they made me go to like selective enrollment. They let me go to my dream school, and now I'll be starting my master's in the fall. So somewhere along the way, like, I stopped doing it for them and I started like just like falling in love with learning and stuff. So everything thanks to my parents, and then somewhere along just thanks to me.
Okay, I love it. I love it. And Ileana, so obviously graduating from a program that's amazing at UIC, how does it feel for you too?
think just to like echo everyone else, I think for a lot of us, and I see this in a lot of my students and myself, it's not always just for us. It's wanting us to like fulfill in some way and give back to like our parents, our families. And even thinking, I think even I keep saying to myself, like, you know, I worked hard for this degree, but also recognizing all those people who supported me in this journey, and also thinking in a way it is for them as well, right? Whether it was my students who inspired me to like go back to school, my colleagues who supported me throughout this journey, or even like family and friends who've also guided me, supported me. So I think, yeah, it is my, you know, I did the hard work, but also all of those around me who have supported me in this journey. So for me, it's like finally finishing. It's like, it's good for, it feels good for me, but also for all those that love me and supported me, and to see that genuine like happiness that they have, it's also just a great feeling. And also just, I think I hear that a lot in our students of who else they've done this for in addition to themselves. And I think it really echoes like the LARES mission, right? We always say of wanting to like give back for the like the advancement of the Latino community, and in a way like how all of us achieving these goals, our own personal goals, are still continue to contribute to the LARES mission of advancing our community.
Okay. So I know I just wanted to ask you just because I'm really excited for you too. But yeah, I don't know if you want to ask the next question for the students.
Yes. So what wisdom can you now share now that you've made it, you're very close to the finish line, right? For at least this milestone in your education. What wisdom can you now share to those that come after you?
I can go first. Something that I want, you know, incoming college students or students that are thinking about going to college is to not be afraid, because I think fear is is going to be your number one enemy in life, and I faced it a lot myself in college. I changed my major 3 times, and at one point I wanted to be a doctor. At one point I wanted to be I was doing computer science, and both those times I was just afraid of the time, the commitment, the classes, the workload. And I think if you really have a dream to do something, you should, you know, not give up ever. Look for the resources. There's so many people that you can reach out to, organizations. And if you go to UIC, I highly suggest LARES, because they'll have an answer for everything, and if they don't, they'll find someone who does, you know. And don't be afraid to apply to internships, for scholarships, because the worst that they can say is no. And at the end of the day, if they do say no, then at least you know you tried. Because if you don't try, you're always gonna have this thought in the back of your head, that what if I did this, or what if I did that. So that's the number one thing I would tell students. You know, college is going to be hard, but with the right mindset, you'll for sure reach all your goals.
Love that. Okay. Marina?
Yeah, I would definitely agree. Like, don't be scared to go out and get what you want, and make sure you use your resources like LARES and just your community in general. But also too, like, I know, like, entering college, especially being a first gen, or, you know, like getting some kind of higher degree, there's a lot of imposter syndrome that comes with that. So people feel like they don't deserve to be where they are. And at the end of the day, like, you worked for it and you earned your place here, you know? So, like, don't let anyone tell you you can't do something, not even yourself. Like, you're here for a reason, and just keep going.
Okay. What about you, Jennifer?
Yeah, definitely piggyback off both of them. LARES is definitely a resource that I really didn't until like the end of my degree, maybe like junior year. And it's one of the things that I wish I had started using from the beginning, not just because of the resources, but because I would end up just going in there just to talk and just to vent. And I think, you know, throughout our undergrad, like, that's just needed. Like, you just need people to be able to like just listen to you and like hear what you're going through, whether it's just because you're stressed It doesn't have to be academic. Like sometimes I went in there just talk about my family. And it's definitely something that makes all the difference, especially when you're like in a tight spot. And then kind of going along with Marina, I know that me as a Latina, especially like majoring in English, like I don't like look everywhere and see a lot of people that look like me. So I think that, yeah, just taking into consideration that, instead of feeling like we don't belong, like trying to like think the opposite and think of like we're one of the first ones that are like paving the way for the rest. And I think just changing that mentality can really help someone out to just feel like they belong.
I think to Jennifer, I can definitely echo. I was an English major myself, and I can totally understand that feeling of like looking around and sometimes you being not only the only Latina, but sometimes even the only minority in the room. And I remember at that time, my LARES advisor told me like, well, if you leave, what happens to the next Latina that comes in? Right. And those words have always like stuck with me. And I think that drives a lot of like the work that I do and the conversations that I have with students. So I'm glad that despite those challenges that you all have mentioned, that you were able to like continue to push forward and to believe that you did belong at UIC and find different ways to connect and find community and support at UIC.
And I mean, I definitely echo that as well, because there's a lot of people looking up to you, whether it's a niece, a nephew, maybe some of the younger students on campus. I know that some of the freshmen at LARES leaders have gotten close with a lot of you, but then most importantly, there's even people in your class that you never know that you kind of like installed something. You planted a seed somewhere at the university that people are just going to continue to learn from it and grow from it, which is awesome. But yeah, let's do the next question.
So a lot of us see education as where you kind of go and learn from lectures and books and study, but in what ways do you think you've grown in the last few years that you've been at UIC that are not your traditional academic ways?
I can start with this one. I think that my confidence has definitely gone up. So I've grown within myself. I'm more sure of who I am and like what I believe in, stand for. And it could be like something as small as like I volunteered somewhere and I realized that I have a passion of volunteering at schools and working with kids, or even just seeing like all of the diversity on campus and being exposed to all different kinds of people, whether it's like I'm Puerto Rican, but one of my friends is Dominican, like learning about different cultures and stuff like that. It definitely helps you grow as a person because you're not just stuck in a closed mindset. You get to see all this diversity and appreciate their cultures and maybe like open up yourself to accepting that and just bettering yourself as a person.
Yeah, so going off what Marina said, I think that college definitely helped me find who I am. It really helped me like cement my values. Even if I felt at times I was lost about, who I really wanted to be and what I believed in. I think that, a lot of the things in class, the academic stuff really did help me find a passion for my heritage. I started feeling it more at the end of high school, but in college, I definitely found that that fire, that pride of being Mexican, of my parents, of my grandparents, and just all that my culture has to offer. Joined the mariachi here at UIC my freshman year, and that also helped me like I guess find or like express my passion for music, but particularly like that old school, that traditional type of music that my parents listened to growing up, and that I started listening to as I got older. And I guess like I don't think I would have had that same experience anywhere else, and I'm really thankful for having luckily taken a class where the professor was the instructor for the mariachi. So yeah, college definitely helped me find who I am.
Okay. We've definitely heard you play before, so it's honestly really amazing to see you up there, whether it's singing a solo or playing like a different instrument every single time that we see that. So that's awesome.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think I've gotten a better sense of who I am thanks to college. I've also, most important, like learned to be okay being alone. Just because, like, during college, like you're not always gonna have like be surrounded by everyone at the same time. And I think I struggled with that in the beginning, especially since I was a transfer student. So like coming to UIC, like it felt a little bit lonely at first, and I didn't like feel comfortable with it. But then after some time, I found a good support system. And then I learned, to use my time wisely. When I'm alone, like that's the perfect time to study, because usually when we're in a group, it's not the best. But also, like I think I kind of like Marina, I found a lot more confidence in myself. I became more assertive and started doing things that I never thought I'd do, kind of like speaking in public spaces, studying abroad. Like I never thought I would go anywhere but Mexico, basically. But it was a crazy journey, and I'm really glad that UIC kind of like the faculty, staff, my peers all kind of like pushed me to become a better version of myself.
No, and I totally agree with all that, because when you go to college, you kind of have this mentality of you're just going to go in, you're going to study your career, you're going to meet some people, and then you're going to graduate. But in reality, there's so much involved in it. And even in my experience alone, you walk in, even for myself, like I didn't want to join a fraternity. Then I end up joining because you find that niche, that people that you relate to, or even in other scenarios, joining a professional organization like Alpha, kind of like you have Geo, and then like just in general, being able to surround yourself with different people that help you grow, and then get involved in something like LARES that definitely pushes you to another level. So that's definitely amazing. And I've seen you all grow in your own particular way. I actually met you somewhat, I was an undergrad too, so it's still pretty cool to see you all graduate, which leads to kind of like my question. This is my favorite question of all times. And we ask it literally like in all our graduation dinners, but who do you dedicate this to? Who do you dedicate this celebration and this accomplishment?
Actually, because we're not having a physical ceremony as of right now, it'll probably be later down the road in a couple months, but we each had the opportunity to like make our own slide, and
Okay.
on my slide it's like basically answers your question, and I have three different people groups, and I dedicated it first to God. Then I also said to my family, my parents, especially my grandparents, for sure, my sibling, like everybody in my family, because without them, it would not have been possible. And it's like, it shows like not only like my strength and my, drive to succeed, but it shows like what my family is about too. And then finally, I wanted to dedicate my degree to all the entire Mexican people. Like that's who I do it for college students like Mexican college students like myself, and all those here and all those back in the motherland, I guess. Because like I was saying earlier, like college helped me like find that fire, that pride of being who I am. And like there's just moments where like these where you graduate, where like you feel like all your people like holding you up and like patting you on the back for this accomplishment. So I want to dedicate it for all of them, everybody.
I agree with the Geo, like my family, like everyone kind of encompassed in there. And then when I also think of always when I think about like any accomplishment that I make, is I always dedicate it to like the children I don't have yet. But okay. I want to like be able to do everything that I can, so that one day they know that they can do anything. That if like their parents could do it, then their doors are just gonna be like wide open.
I would definitely have to agree with both. I think that like obviously without God, without my family, I wouldn't be here. Like I wouldn't even be able to attend UIC. I don't know if I would have been able to do that alone. So they would definitely be at the top of the list. But also too, like Jill said, I think our community too, because we're often like looked down upon in certain, like in other communities, they look down upon like the Latinx, Latinos in general. And it's like we're able to do it, and just us being able to earn our degree or diploma, we're showing that we can, like we have the capabilities. And there may be like some little girl out there, some little boy out there, just like watching, like, and then as she's watching, and like, you know, maybe one of us, she comes across one of us, and like she gets into economics, like Gio, or between me and Jennifer, we're able to be those role models or mentors to help guide her, because she may not have anybody. So I think that definitely our community, I would dedicate this to as well, because we're always trying to lift each other up. And now that, just for example, us couple Latinos have made it, I would definitely want to keep pulling more and more up the ladder and seeing them do even better than we have. So I would do that. And like one of the quotes that my sorority has is, what's possible has been done and what's impossible must be done. And I want to make the impossible possible for future generations of Latinx students. So just like dedicate it to them, like use me as a stepping.
Okay, I love that, honestly. I even want to engrave it and put it in the caption of this video just because it's so powerful. So I definitely believe that. And Liliana, this is your second degree. Like, obviously you've dedicated that first one to a lot of people. Who do you dedicate the second one to, even if it's the same people?
I mean, I would say yes to, like, I said it earlier, this degree is the hard work of like my entire like community, right? Like my family, my family and friends. But also I really want to also dedicate it to even to LARES, because the support that LARES gave me as a student when I was an undergraduate, now as a graduate student, and even as a professional. I know for me, I tell my students, you know, we're with you all the way. And I can definitely say that is true. LARES has been with me since like my first year orientation back when I was a college freshman, right? So I do want to also just thank LARES, the program, and I think it really speaks to why we need programs like LARES, whose mission really centers Latino students and making sure that we get to this point, we get to graduation and even beyond, that we always continue to have. You know, when I first started my education, I never saw myself like getting a master's degree. I'm just gonna get that bachelor's degree and that's fine. And that was good enough for me. But continue to remind our students that we can do more than, you know, what we initially think. And I think LARES really has done that from day one orientation through graduation and even from beyond. So I do dedicate it to a LARES program, to my colleagues, and to the students. I said it, I think my students always inspire me and continue to inspire me.
Amazing, amazing. And I always like to hear all these things. It gives me chills. And I remember even the first graduation that I sat through, and I remember just hearing all the different speeches that everybody had. Todos los que chillaban, todos los que gritaban, que celebraban todos juntos. Even though this time around, a lot of things had to change, a lot of things had to move around. It's always important that students that are graduating recognize that they had a college experience, that they celebrated a lot, they hurt a lot sometimes, because you know how finals are sometimes. They dealt with whether it was like getting ahead of the game, procrastinating, you know, like all these different things that happen in college. And just all the exciting things about even getting involved and meeting new people. So I definitely want to congratulate the class of 2020. As crazy as that sounds, this has chapters almost closing, you know, it's almost at the finish line. And what is the one last thing that you would like to say, just in general right now? Like, what is the last thing that you want to say to all those that are graduating right now?
To all my fellow graduates, I just want to say, well, first of all, congratulations, like you did it, despite everything. You know, I know personally some people that went through, you know, something that no one should go through while, you know, trying to get their degree, but despite all those odds, you know, you overcame everything, and this is just the beginning. This is like the end of your undergraduate college career, but this is just the beginning of a long journey that is life. and I wish you nothing but the best in all your future endeavors. And I'm sure you guys are gonna do great things and change the world. So congrats.
I also want to say congratulations, because I know for a fact that a lot of blood, sweat, and tears went into earning that degree. Whether we're crying about the upcoming finals week or midterms or whatnot, but like at the end of the day, we're here and we did it, and it's a big accomplishment because not too many people are being able to make it this far. So you did it. Take a breather, but just know that, like Gio said, this is only the beginning for you. This is just like one small step in the life ahead of you, and you're going to continue to do so many great things. And I can't see the future, but like I know that each and every one of us is going to be able to have an impact on our community, and that's what I would love to see.
I agree. Huge congrats to all of us. I mean, even if we're in quarantine, throw yourself a little party. It's still worth celebrating. I'm definitely still gonna have a photo shoot in my living room, even if I'm just using like my high school cap and gown. Luckily, my colors matched. And then I know like a lot of people are like handling the quarantine differently, and don't really know what's coming next. So I just want to reassure everybody that this is something that's gonna pass, and we are gonna get through it. And for those people who are kind of like, you know, getting their jobs rescinded or something like that, or just worrying about it, like just take a breather. You just committed like the last 4 years of your life to getting a degree. Like it is going to be worthwhile. Maybe not soon, but someday. And one day we're just going to look back and we're like, oh yeah, that quarantine happened. But the bad times will pass.
I agree. And hopefully they do fast, but yeah.
I also just want to say congrats to all of our graduates. Although celebrations will be looking a little bit different, maybe a little bit different than what we anticipated a couple months ago. Just to echo Jennifer, do celebrate, find those little moments of, you know, maybe once finals are over or when or in between, because they're almost there, right? Find moments to celebrate and recognize all the hard work that you've done, right? Sometimes I think we may focus on, I'm not going to get the graduation that I wanted, right? But find those moments to reflect on like everything that you have done to get you to this point and celebrate all that hard work. Y para los papás, felicidades para los papás, para los abuelos, los tíos, todos los que han apoyado a los estudiantes, también felicidades a ustedes, porque sé que también es mucho esfuerzo apoyar a los estudiantes también. O sea, todas las familias, felicidades a ustedes también.
But yes, I definitely echo everything that all of you have said, because even though like maybe graduation again isn't going to happen the traditional way, at some point our community always finds a way to come together. At some point we always find a way to celebrate or make something unique out of it. We're not a community that kind of stands down and just kind of plays things as is. We like to have our fun. We like to celebrate our people, and I'm pretty sure that in some way, some sort, los abuelitos, los papás van a celebrar a todos, because they're a part of you and they're a part of everything you have accomplished. So you look back and you're like, you know what, it was all worth it even at the end. But yeah, and then thank you all for joining. I hope you all are doing well and staying safe, and hopefully, you know, finals go well. And at the finish line, I promise we'll have a quick talk and chat, because I want to celebrate you all too. Even if I put a cupcake and I blow it for you all, like if it was a little celebration, we'll make it happen. But yeah, thanks for joining us today. This was Conexión LARES, and hope you enjoyed being our guest for today. So thank you so much.
Yay.